Fight fans, fight fans, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and the beef has just continued. Like I promised, guys, I would come with a response of Floyd Money Mayweather. You know, because Canelo Alvarez did say he would love to fight him. He didn't say he would like to fight him. He said he would love to fight Floyd Money Mayweather. You know, because it's like a thorn in his side or whatever, you know. Erase that blemish on his record, you know. But a draw is a record, you know, is a blemish too, by the way. You know, I mean, he has two of those. Anyway, it's not the same as a loss, though, right? And Floyd, pretty much, and I'm paraphrasing, he said it doesn't matter. On that night, he fought me, okay, which is Floyd Money Mayweather. I still whooped that ass easily. Conor McGregor was a far better fighter than you with your cheating ass. And I beat him easily too. It takes me 36 minutes to make 300 million. And I can do that in one night. It takes you 5 fights to make that. You do the math. Who's winning? You know, I mean, you can look at that both ways. You can look at that like, okay, it does actually take him that amount of money. You know, he made that with Pacquiao. You know, I mean, look, it takes 2 to tango, though. Floyd couldn't make that with anybody. Okay? Now, Floyd is right. He can make more money and generate more money than any other fighter in boxing. That's a fact. You know what I mean? Not to take away from Canelo's increase, his contract, this huge deal. It's not to take away from that. It's because one thing about Floyd is a kind of guy that his middle name shouldn't be Pretty Boy or Money Mayweather. It should be Inconsistent, because he has been inconsistent all of his career. He might have been talented. He might have, you know, been very skilled, but he's been inconsistent. And I think that personally is the reason why he did not get the fighter of the decade like Roy Jones Jr. in the 90s and Manny Pacquiao in the early 2000s. That's why I think he didn't get that. You know what I'm saying? Because his inconsistencies. You know, he would beat a guy, then retired, and come back, beat a guy, then retire again, then have another layoff. You know, you can't, you know, I mean, the inconsistencies will kill you. But he is the cash cow, the notoriousness of him all. He was marketed right. You know, the type of fights that he fought, the matchups were perfectly put together. They're well placed. You know what I mean? Canelo was the only real threat at that time that I saw. But he knew he could beat him too, because that's Money Mayweather. I mean, you know, I give him props for that. You know, and it's true what he said. You know, you can argue that. But then you can argue the fact that, why are you just saying that now? I remember when Floyd beat Canelo. You know, I followed that fight from the, you know, from the epilogue, from the post conference, to the, you know, to the All Access, all the episodes before that. During the fight, the post conference, and then Canelo looked like a sad lost puppy because he lost. You know what I mean? It was his first loss. He was devastated. He even got tattoos, right? The whole crew, I think his brothers, and I know they got the whole tattoo. They're showing that particular date. It was labeled the one that Canelo would win, and then he lost, and then all of them were devastated. You know what I'm saying? They especially getting tattoos because they just knew that they were going to beat Floyd that night, and they didn't. He got took to school. He got, you know, and really what happened, he got introduced to a style that was mastered by a particular fighter that he could not handle. Point blank. He can't handle boxers that know how to move. Ask Eris Landi that. He couldn't handle him. That's why there was no rematch even talked about. Because Oscar knew, I'm no way in hell I'm putting my boy back in there with Lara. Because Lara might get a little bit more aggressive like he did in his later fights. And that might have, you know what I mean? You don't know what a rematch would have been. So I have to address that each and every time. But back to Floyd. Floyd beat him. Okay. Well, after that, though, Floyd did praise Canelo. Floyd was like, this is going to be the next king of boxing, because he knew he was a superstar in the making. Even though from the loss, he can bounce back from a loss. You know what I'm saying? He knew that. So he had nothing bad to say about Canelo Alvarez. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it was necessarily because Canelo lately, which I mean lately, been meaning this year, tested positive for clenbuterol or not, because I know how Floyd is about cheaters. I think I heard something about Floyd mentioning Canelo, but I'm not sure on that. Because a lot of people came out and said things about Canelo and criticized him or whatever, due to him testing positive. You know what I mean? But Floyd did call him a cheater like he would call anyone. He called Sugar Shane Mosley a cheater. He called other people a cheater. Margarito a cheater. That's Floyd. Floyd is going to do that. But there is a possibility, guys, that the only reason he is mentioning Canelo now as opposed to any other time is because Canelo just signed this big deal. And like I told you guys about Floyd Money Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather does not like people to be compared to him or challenge him in any kind of way, physically, financially, and publicly. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't like that. So if anyone comes near his particular potential, he doesn't like you anymore. Ask Andre Ward, ask Manny Pacquiao, that's a lot of fighters. You know what I mean? Adrian Broner. He's that kind of dude. He loves the limelight. He loves the spotlight. He loves to show off what he can do. That is the nature and the mentality of Floyd Mayweather. Okay, so Canelo did respond back, and it was basically nonchalant. Like, no, I won't talk and offend people over social media. I won't do that. You know what I mean? Meaning, basically, you can read between the lines. Canelo was saying like, hey, I have too much class for that. And no, I'm not surprised that Floyd said that. He wasn't surprised at all. He's seen that coming. But you know who that sounds like? That sounds like Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? Canelo also said, hey, let's get into the ring. Let's, if he wants to fight, we can make a fight. Obviously, it bothered him some type of way. I don't know why. That's what he said. And Anthony Joshua is taking the same approach with Deontay Wilder, because Deontay Wilder is calling him a coward, is calling him scared, saying he's a ducker, saying they don't want to fight. You know what I mean? He's less than a man. He's saying all these things about Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua's still smiling. Why? Because these boys are getting paid. The Zone is paying these guys. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And that didn't even take away from Canelo at all. I mean, first of all, Canelo has a poker face. You know what I mean? The only time I kind of seen him remotely pissed off or hurt was when he lost to Floyd, and when Abel Sanchez was talking at him, saying that he ran in that fight. You could kind of see because he was blinking his eyes, saying, estoy listo para lo que sea. He was pissed. You could see him blinking real quick. You know what I mean? But he still has this poker face. You know what I mean? And I think in the Lara fight, he looked a little pissed off, where the Reynosos were trying to convince him, like, no, you won. He just ran and all that. But, I mean, that's not too many times you see this guy with an expression of, you know what I'm saying, of anything, really. He is a poker face, right? So, he wasn't bothered by those remarks from Floyd Money Mayweather. He just said, okay, hey, if you want to fight, let's fight. You know what I mean? And that is the businessman persona you take on. You know what I mean? That's the decision you take on. It's a decision to be a businessman, to be professional. And that's what Canelo has taken. What Floyd said, everything he said was true. I mean, to the point where, it don't matter if not. I mean, he was speculating a lot of times, but he can make $100 million easily because it's Floyd Money Mayweather. And the funny thing about Floyd is his star power hasn't diminished any. You know what I mean? Because he still has that O. It's just sad that he spread this doctrine to other people that have them thinking like, okay, well, maybe if I do what Floyd did by keeping my O, maybe I'll be something like Floyd. You know what I mean? But then again, it's like, okay, well, Floyd had a team around him, but if you apply that same doctrine to your life, you can end up in a situation where you don't end up fighting the best guys that you should have fought, But anyway, that's all here, nor here nor there, you know what I mean? But no, that really didn't bother Canelo on what Mayweather has said. But of course, the talks have went back and forth. They have exchanged words, some more harsh, some more non-harsh, right? But you guys tell me what you think about Floyd's remarks. Please subscribe. Please leave a comment below. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.